one day, the tower received a call from an aircraft asking what time it is. And so the tower responded, "Who's calling?" And the pilot replied, "Does that make a difference? What difference does that make?" And the tower replied, "Well, it makes a lot of difference. In the American Airlines flight, if it's an American Airlines flight, it's 3 o'clock. If it's an Air Force plane, it's 1,500 hours. If it's a Navy plane, Navy aircraft, it's 6 bells. If it's an Army aircraft, the big hand's on the 12 and the little hand's on the 3. If it's a Marine Corps aircraft, it's Thursday afternoon, 120 minutes, and it's happy hour." Yeah. Actually, that's not 100% true, because usually it's the Air Force, because usually we're happy hour by 1,500 hours. That's it. Usually we're done and over. But at same airport, how do you know if a fighter pilot is at your party? He tells you. What's the difference between God and fighter pilots? God doesn't think he's a fighter pilot. And what's the difference between a fighter pilot and a jet engine? A jet engine stops whining when the plane shuts down. Yeah. And so Navy chief and an admiral were sitting at a barber shop. Let's pick on the Navy for a little bit here. And they were both getting finished with their shaves when the barbers reached for some aftershave to slap their faces. And the admiral shouted, "Hey, don't put that stuff on me. My wife will think I've been in a whorehouse." The chief turned around to his barber and said, "Go ahead, put that on me and put it on. My wife doesn't know what the inside of a whorehouse smells like." Yeah. But you know what? In any branch of the service, we got a lot of truisms. So, you know what? Here's one that's really true. Aim towards the enemy. You know what? Aim towards the enemy. Because you know what? There's somebody out there that doesn't. And when pin is pulled, Mr. Grenade no longer is your friend. Yeah. And true story, I've had somebody do that and look at you.
Oh, God.
And cluster bombing from a B-52 is very, very accurate. Bombs always hit the ground. And whoever said the pen is mightier than the sword, obviously never encountered automatic weapons. No, keep in mind, we're not talking civilians here. We're just talking military training stuff, okay? We're not going political here. Yeah. And don't ever be the first. Don't ever be the first. Don't ever be the last. And don't ever volunteer to do anything. This is a military truisms now. This is not civilian. And if the attack is going too well, you are walking into an ambush. Yep. And if you find yourself in a fair fight, you didn't plan your mission properly.
Very good.
Yeah, and don't draw fire. It irritates the people around you. I have been involved in too many, exercises to know that for a fact. And no combat-ready unit has ever passed inspection. I've never seen it. It'll never happen. Any ship can be a minesweeper once. And if the enemy is in range, so are you.
Yeah.
Tracers work both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Friendly fire isn't. Yeah. Friendly fire isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5-second fuses only last 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Never share foxholes with anyone braver than you. True story. Going through ROTC, there was a kid that said he would never share a foxhole with a woman. That proved to be a bad thing on his part. He loved a pair of boots. He had these boots he loved to shine. These were parajumper boots. He babied these boots. He loved these boots more than he loved women. They He had a raiding party on him one night. We stuffed him full of shaving cream and shoe polish and anything else we could put in him. And he got up for reveille the next morning, jumped in him, and the crap literally went up his legs. He looked like he messed himself right up to his eyes. True story. True story. We were in ROTC. We were on an exercise years ago, back when Methuselah was in basic training, or back when Methuselah was in ROTC. True story. He never said it again. Yep. So friendly fire isn't friendly. Never. The problem with taking the easy way out is that the enemy already has it mined. And incoming fire has the right of way, guys. Always remember that. Same thing with ambulances. That's a hospital thing too. Incoming driveways for ambulances has the right of way. People out and people don't realize that, but yeah, incoming ambulances have the right of way, and they always block the driveway. The quartermaster only has two sizes: too large and too small. If you see the enemy, he can see you. Good point. And never tell the platoon sergeant you have nothing to do. That even applies to officers.
Yeah.
And experience wanted. Whenever you always, and this goes back to never volunteer yourself. Shortly after joining the Army, this one guy said, it was in line with some other inductees when the sergeant stepped forward with the day's assignments. He had several tasks out and then asked, does anyone here have any experience with radio communications? And this longtime ham operator said, shouted, I do. He said, good, you could dig a hole for the new telephone pole. You've been a great audience. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yay.